Everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Screaming Chewy Show. And I'd like to welcome a very special guest, a big fan of these guys, hard rock band, Jesse, Brian, and Christian. How you doing, guys?
Doing great, man. Doing fantastic. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you. And I was looking forward to this, man. I'm so excited. Like I told you, I was listening to your song "Break You." Oh my god, bro, I love it. Even how it starts, bro. Like everything about it. There's a lot of build up to it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got to have that we've all been kind of doing this a long time, and we're really getting set in who we are, which is great. And unfortunately, it takes about 20 years to figure out as a musician who you actually are and start putting that on the forefront and showing people that. And Christian did a phenomenal job, as well as Brian, with coming in and kind of repackaging this song to be what it is. They slowed it down a little bit from its original version, and man, just brought in a whole different type of emotion, to create and give to the audience of who all's going to listen to it. And the thing about it is this song hits on so many different levels of emotion that I was telling earlier when we were talking to the thing we were on earlier. I have not been able to watch this video that we released for this thing without tearing up, and I've probably watched this thing probably about 30 times.
Wow.
And it still hits on, even myself, it still hits on emotion where I still tear up at times, because of just the impact that it has, just the song itself. But then when you put the video to it, it gives it a whole nother thing, man. So
A lot of work behind it.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. We take a lot of time away from our families, and their sacrifice and the support that they give us, man. We wouldn't be able to do it without the support
Yeah,
system that we have.
for the longest time, it was like what 3 4 days a week in there.
Oh yeah,
In the
yeah.
Wow.
working.
So just to give you a heads up, this lineup of who we have, minus the drummer, has only been together. Well, we've been together less than a year.
Wow.
Of course, the band was established in 2019 and the whole deal. But Brian was with me since last October.
Yes.
So he's been with me just at about a year. But we had members of the band that walked away, and Christian and our bass player Dennis Hare came into the picture at the end of March. So, you count that up. Those guys have only really been with us for 9 months. And where we were in a complete state of just devastation of not doing anything, and where we are at now are completely night and day. And our drummer that we have is not even the drummer on this track, on the Break You track. We ended up having to part ways with our original drummer.
Oh,
But this guy that came in, he just brings a whole nother thing to the table. So it's one of those situations where this version of the band has not even been a band for a year yet.
wow.
Uh, we've been able to do everything that we've done collectively in less than a year. So we're extremely happy about it, and what we've been able to do, and the road that we're going down, the path that we've taken is a lot different from other people. But at the same time, not everybody's path is the same.
Mhm.
So we got to do what works best for us, and I think that that's pretty much what we've done.
Yeah.
And we're extremely happy with it. Of course, I think we take the road that is probably the hardest, because our motto is, if the check engine light isn't on, then it's not right, something's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those situations where um we deal with adversity the best way that we can, and all it does is make us stronger together. So we're extremely happy with Break You. That's our second release with who we are now, and what we're going to continue to be. The first release that we had, The Day I Lost My Mind, we released at the beginning of September, and we have almost 7,000 streams on that song.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
it's fantastic, man. So we're extremely happy with everything, and we're waiting for Break You to get out in the masses, and kind of get people wound up in that one, and then hopefully within the next 2.5 months we'll be right at the same spot that we are with the other one. So
And considering, everything that's happened, with the band members and stuff, you guys are still Rise the Phoenix. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely. Absolutely. And we actually take a lot of pride in being that, because when the band first started, the whole reason, the whole premise behind Rise the Phoenix is that a phoenix rebirths itself after a life cycle. And myself and Brian and Christian, along with the other guys, I mean, this is like our second or third try at this. We've all come from projects back. I've known this guy for probably about 20 years.
Wow.
And I've met Brian just last year, but our connections on, with are the same. Yeah, it doesn't matter,
Yep.
but it's a situation where we relish in what the Phoenix is about, because we know that this is, even, there's different chapters of a Phoenix. Let me put it like that, because, it really kind of molds us into what this whole thing is about.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we're not young men anymore, trying to find our way. I mean, like we've got life experience, we've gone through it, family, and working a job, and raising kids, and the whole gamut of what it is to be, an adult. And we've gone through it. I mean, each of us in our own individuality, we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations in our personal lives, and I think it just brought us to where we are at the right time in our life, that we all just kind of met the way we did and come together, and this thing just turned into what it is. And so far, I mean, it's been it's been a whole lot of positive, lot of positive.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is the simple fact that we're all on the same page as far as music and how we want to be and how we want to write, and we're like a family. I mean, we've been like a family since the beginning, and that's one thing we can say about. That's what I think makes us as such a strong group, is because we do a lot of stuff together as well. So I mean, we're always thinking about music. It's always there.
Yeah,
and it impacts our music a lot.
You can't beat the chemistry,
Yeah, that's
right.
That's the biggest thing, man. Is you can play with guys for years and just have you have those musicians that you can like play with for years, and you have that you can jam with them, but it's never like electric kind of, And then the first time we got together, walked in here and jammed a couple songs, and it was like we all had to walk out of here. It was like, okay, something special about that.
Yeah.
Even our producer, tells us that he tries to record us because in a more of a live feel, because he wants to capture that lightning in a bottle kind of situation. But I really enjoy where we're at. I really
And I think that's why you guys are kicking ass so much, because like Brian was saying, you guys are older now, and you through a lot. So you're at the age, because I'm with you guys. We're I'm 36. And I'm at the point in my life where I ain't fucking wasting time. You know what I mean? It's like, are we doing this or not?
Right. That's pretty much where we're at, man.
I wasted a lot of years of my life trying to find where I'm going, where I'm at, and now we know what we want,
Right.
How Christian and you, Jesse, how you guys were saying about, you know Christian for 20 years, and Brian, shorter than that.
Yeah.
The chemistry, bro, you can't beat that, and I feel that because I have a homie I known for 20 years. I known him since middle school. And we know each other, like, dude, we're family. His family knows me, my family knows we're family, we've been through a lot. And then so I met a friend through him, right? A mutual friend. And like as soon as me and her like met up, like boom, instantly, bro, we became close. And we're like best friends now. And I only known her like 5 years. Well, it feels like I've known her forever, so I can relate to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cool thing that, it's really crazy because back, when I first met Christian, we were in separate bands and
used to do shows together.
Used to do shows, but I've been plugging on this guy for years.
Crazy.
I've been trying to get this dude to collaborate with me for years, and it never was the right deal. And we had gone through about 6 guitar players. So we had gone through like 5 or 6 guitar players, and he called me out of the blue because he saw that we were holding auditions, and he was actually calling for our bass player. And I was like, well, dude, what are you doing? I mean, you're on the phone with me now. And he was like, man, I'll come and try it out. So he did. And I know that Christian's not the type of dude to change, to waste his time. He's a fantastic freaking talent, man. He's probably the best guitar player I've ever been doing this with. As far as what he brings to the table. And I can say the same thing for Brian. The cool thing about it is that they already know what I think. I don't have to say anything to them. I can mention it and they'll come back with, yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. So the chemistry in that sense is even real. It's not. And for me, if I don't, I call it babysitting. If I have to babysit you and I've got to tell you everything to do, then we got a problem. And that's another thing that is in our favor as a group, is that not only do we have the closeness as far as the music goes, we have the closeness as far as the brotherhood. And I don't have to tell these guys what I think. They already know it because they feel the same way. And that's like going back to what Christian was saying about us being on the same page.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I feel as strong about where we are right now and where we'll continue to grow to, because of factors like that. I mean, that's something that you don't have with everybody, so I mean, we're just blessed to be in the position that we're in, to be able to be on here with you and what we did earlier with Spade Image. And he's actually the guy that shot our video, and just nice. Phenomenal videographer, and his editing skills are top notch, man. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough about him. We've worked with some videographers in the past, and I mean, they do a great job. I'm not taking anything away from them, but this guy, I mean, Gene Broom and what he does is,
he kind of becomes a part of your group.
Yeah. I mean,
he's like, you don't even notice him there. It's just, oh, that's Gene.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's like a part of everything that's going on.
There's 5 people standing there, and you grab 6 beers, and you're grabbing that 6 beer for somebody that it's Gene. And it's without even thinking about it. It's like I grabbed 5 beers and I grabbed 6. But the thing about it is that Gene takes a lot of pride in what he does, because he, like us, he wants to make it to that next level of what he's doing. And Gene spent so much. I know he came to my house and he spent probably about 11 and a half to 12 hours just at my house and editing the first minute and a half of the video. And that's as far as we got. And, he's spent countless days. He works a day job working swing shift. And like today, he got off at 6:30 this morning and called me at 7 because we were premiering the video. And then at 11, he called me because we were setting up the podcast. And then at 12:30, we were on the podcast. And then he's got to go back to work tonight. So that's the kind of dedication he has to what he's doing. And everything is just, I mean, it's effortless. Let me put it like that. It's just effortless what he does, or he makes it look that way, So, but for him to be on our team and, do what he does. And then everybody that was part of the video, which I didn't know if this was the direction that you wanted to go at this point in time. So you let me know if I need to stop.
Oh no, man, I'm loving this, bro. Man, this goes wherever you want to go, man. I'm loving it,
man. I love it. But everybody that was part of the video did such a phenomenal job. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but it is a video that is it advocates domestic violence awareness, just with what the song talks about and everything. Everybody who had their hand in being part of the video, as far as the sequence shots, or my wife and daughter did makeup and hair for some of the scenes, and they did a phenomenal job. My son was in it, as one of the sequence shots. But everybody who came to the table to do this came in such a way that we had a goal. And I don't know if it's me and my demeanor, what I'm bringing to the table is like, because I'm no bullshit, man. I mean, I'm just like, we're going to do this. We're going to do it right,
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that was on board did a phenomenal job. And it was kind of, we talked about this earlier. It was kind of hard for us to dip into what this video portrays. But at the same time, it was real easy because it's such a, I like to say that it's kind of a pandemic within itself, just because this type of thing has been happening for years, since the beginning of humanity. So it's something, and it's something that we'll continue to deal with.
Yeah,
I mean, it's something that it'll still be out there. I mean, it's
just
not
knowing that you have somebody on your team with it, and knowing that you can talk to somebody about it,
right,
and bring it to the surface and heal from it.
right.
And that's the biggest thing is coming in, and this song takes you through that whole journey of what it could be, and how it could start and what the outcome could be.
Right.
Whether it be not as bad as where the outcome was for the video, but it could get that bad.
Yeah, it got pretty dark.
Yeah.
It got pretty dark.
And that's the harsh reality,
And
that's exactly what it is. The harsh reality of it is like it can go there,
Yeah.
And it was portrayed really well all the way through to just a great video.
Yeah. So we're extremely happy about it. And the other part of that is that we have people that were involved in this that have been through that type of stuff. So it was even easier for them to play that part because they know they've been through it before.
Oh wow.
And as a matter of fact, I kind of felt bad for the fact that they came in and was part of it, and I felt like it was kind of going to take them to a dark place, So we had to be careful with that too. And luckily, everybody came out unscathed without any type of anxiety or depression or anything like that, which is always important, So, but the team that was part of it, these guys, everybody that stepped up and did their part, man, is just, I mean, it wouldn't have happened without them. And we're really appreciative of the fact that we have that type of support where people want to be part of something, So
even the shoot itself was almost like a family affair, though.
It was like a party.
They brought
it was a party, man.
And everybody was hanging out during, between scenes while scenes were being set up and stuff like that. And just made it wasn't no bad attitude or anything throughout the entire process of it, which made it that much better. Because I mean, anybody knows when you're shooting scenes, the weather has problems for things, the lighting, you have to shoot stuff 50, 60 times. It upsets people, but we never had that. We got in there. Gene was fighting everything to get this stuff done, and man, we fought it. But I mean, Jesse and Brian and them were up until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
This turned into like a 14-hour shoot.
Damn.
Supposed to be able to knock this out just
in 4 hours. In 4 hours, that's what we were looking at. We can do this in 4 hours.
It turned out to be like a 14-hour shoot.
And we did it at his house. So we held his house up for hostage until like 4 o'clock in the morning. His wife was pissed, kicking the dogs. I mean, it was just.
He's like, dude, I gotta go to bed.
People gonna leave.
We got drums blaring in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, 2:30 in the morning.
We didn't play a light version of the song.
Not at all.
It was on like through the PA.
Oh, bro. I think at some point the little shed that we were rocking in, I think the roof kind of raised up a little bit a couple times, but nah, man, it was a lot of fun.
Stop drinking beer and eating food, having a blast, hanging out. We had like 30 people there that was part of this whole operation. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was just like they said, man. It was a big shindig, man. We got together, and what we thought was going to be a 4 or 5 hour deal turned into a 14 to 18 hour deal, but we got everything shot in one day, and and it then we ended up waiting a whole month for this. Come back. But no, man, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, to be completely honest with you, man, because it's a situation where we wanted it done right. I actually made the comment to Gene. He was like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to portray? And I literally told him, dude, do you remember the first time you ever watched the Michael Jackson Thriller video? And he said, yeah. I said, that's the feel that I want for this thing. And he was like, you son of a bitch, you had to say that, didn't you? So, it was like, you're raising the bar really high right now. But, did we touch the bar? I don't know. I mean, that's up to everybody's opinion. But I've probably watched the video about 30 times, and there hasn't been a time where I haven't choked up somewhere,
Yeah, man, it's really dark and very emotional.
Absolutely.
Just the song itself, and that video just puts the cherry on top, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the song, I'll tell you, the song was actually written and when I was going through some bad stuff. I was going through some bad personal stuff. And it was kind of ended up being kind of an epiphany, because I looked at the lyrics. If you knew me back then, or you look at the lyrics and you were like, damn, that's me. And that's another way that people can look at it is we're a very vain type of people. And a lot of times we get in positions where, if something doesn't swing our way, or something doesn't, it's not in our favor, we get pissed off. It's football season. I'll use that as an example. If my team doesn't win, then they didn't win because I didn't wear the right shirt or something like that, But, it's kind of like we focus on ourselves more so than we focus on everybody else. And it puts us in these deals where we focus on the wrong stuff, and
I agree.
It's just it's a song that kind of, if it wasn't portrayed by the video the way that it did, then it would be Break You would be you are your own worst enemy. There's another way that it can be taken. But I like the avenue that we went.
Yeah.
I like the way that we were able to portray it. I love the fact that Gene was able to capture every essence of what the song and what this could be. This has been a vision for a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Christmas Eve or Christmas Day is when the video idea even came up of last year.
Well, we've even been perfecting the music for over almost a year now, because when we sat down and wrote that was probably about the 10th or 11th version of that song.
Yeah.
Before we actually sit down and put it on tape and recorded it.
So the song was actually written back in 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the first time it was ever played, Rise the Pheonix opened for Seven Dust. So that was the first time that song was ever played, but it's grown and changed so much since then. And then whenever Christian and Brian and Dennis and, our drummer got into the room, it took on a whole different sound almost. The tempo dropped. The tuning dropped. I mean, it got heavier.
Yeah.
And it got way more. There was way more emotion behind it.
A lot of feeling to it. Even I searched for it. Took me close to, I have to say, we played about 10 shows. We had played that song, and me toying with effects and different guitars and different tones get that. Even in the studio, we recorded it with 2 different guitars to get until I found that tone that I wanted for that lead riff in the beginning and the end of the song, to give it more of an electronic feel, but kind of almost old school Tom Morello-ish, in a way. But
if you listen close, you can hear some dubstep type licks in there, and that's not a put in. That's him on the guitar.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's whatever you heard on that song, the way it was recorded is the same thing you get on a live performance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
It took a while toying with that riff, because that riff, if you would have heard it a year ago, that riff was totally different than where we brought it, throughout the process. And it took that playing it over and over and over again and toying with the effects until I found that perfect mix of where you play it at. Now you get that it's almost like he said, like a dubstep type electronic feel, old school Rage Against the Machine, maybe.
Yes.
Remember when Korn did that album and it was dubstep? Yeah. That's what I think about.
Yeah.
With
Psychosocial is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the point where I was telling the guys, I was like, we're gonna have to put on the album. Everything was produced by our instruments because we did not use any kind of electronica or anything like that.
Well,
It was all
that reminds me, I need to put a thing on the description for our video that we did our own stunts too.
Hey,
So,
you're a real one if you do your own stunts, you know?
that's it, man. We do all our own stunts. So every hit, every bang, every push, every smack you saw, that was all real.
Taking it for the team, bro. Taking it for the team.
That's it, man. That's it. And the crazy thing is that we all laughed about it. That was it.
We had a blast doing it.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, man, we're super proud of this, and we're extremely excited to see kind of where it goes. You know, it's everybody's always looking for that one song that's going to break them out, you know, especially when they're considered a local. But for us being in Mobile, Alabama, we've got a lot of things that we have to fight. You know, the course is a little rougher for us because where we're in a good marketing area for music, it's not a good marketing area for hard rock music. You know, it's more what country classic rock type stuff, swamp rock.
They want to hear covers, you know. They want to hear your most of your bands that make it around here, or your bands that are playing a lot of cover music and stuff like jam band type stuff, you know.
Like Red Clay Strays is from Mobile, and they play more along. They sound a lot like the Allman Brothers. Yeah. So that's more or less kind of what this area is about. Now, I mean, you have your loyal supporters who do come out and listen to hard rock stuff. And
yes, speaking of which, we played the Scene Fest this past weekend.
Yeah,
and the folks come out for that one. What a great festival, man! And the people that came out, it was just packed out in both venues. All the bands got super support from everybody. I mean, it was a great family deal, all ages shows. Great killer performances by all
everybody.
Bands, it was just such a great time. But there is a scene here. It's just hard to find it, and it's hard to have places or venues to play it to bring that type of scene out for that harder rock community. But it's here. You know, it's just I wish we had those places back like back in the day, because nowadays the scene is people want to hear that hard rock music out. They want to go to places and hear it, but it's hard.
There's not a whole lot of places.
Not a whole lot of places that want you to play your own originals and stuff. They like the covers and stuff are the biggest thing, but it's growing. It's getting better. It's getting better.
So how does Arizona look with hard rock places? Should we come over there and play?
Yes, there's a lot of hard rock venues here, especially downtown. People get crazy, man.
We love crazy. Yeah. As long as we're on stage, we love crazy. I don't like it when I'm standing out there.
I would love to go see you guys, man. It'd be a blast.
I'll watch it, but I will not be a part of it.
I do not condone violence.
Right. Well, the next day, it's not like the younger guys that are out there moshing and stuff. You know, they walk away from that feeling great. We walk away, and next day we need crutches and wheelchairs.
Oh, bro.
My back and knees can't take a bit.
And all that stuff. Even it hurts me to perform it, man. Like I'm getting hurt jamming it for you guys.
Look, man, he was just talking about that Make a Scene Fest that we just played. The first song, I thought I was going to die. The first song, I thought I was going to die. But we worked through it, and everything else was good. So, but yeah, no, he's right, man. I mean, we're not like peepaws or anything like that. I don't have to rub myself down with Ben Gay or anything. But you know, I mean, doing this is tough, man. It's tough at 43 years old. You know what I mean? So, but no, man. I mean, we'll definitely have to look about coming that way. I mean, we're looking to release our EP at the beginning of the year before the end of January. So I think that our plan is to actually do some runs.
Hell yeah.
To promote that and get in some new market areas and things like that. So really looking forward.
Can you talk about your EP? When do you know exactly when it's coming out?
We don't. We still got to get in the studio. That's kind of our goal for the rest of the year, because when we played this show last weekend, that was actually the last show of the year for us. So we'll be in the studio after Thanksgiving and before Christmas. I think we got to lock down 5 more songs. Well, I think we've got I think we actually have to track about 5 more songs, because The Day I Lost My Mind and Break You were the only 2 songs off of the EP that we actually got in and was able to do. But we do have about 5 or 6 more songs that we have to nail down. And then once we do that, then we'll, go through the process of doing that. But our goal is to, because if you don't set yourself a goal, man, then you're screwed up. But our goal is before the end of January, we're gonna be releasing our EP. So
looking forward to that, man. And everybody listening right now, check
absolutely.
out their video Break You, just premiered today. And yeah, man. Anything else you guys
if you go to YouTube and you look up RTP Band Official, that is our YouTube page. We had to start over on some things, so we're looking for subscribers. So anybody that wants to jump on there and subscribe, you'll get all of our notifications and everything. That is where the videos for The Day I Lost My Mind, which is more of a lyric video with some studio footage, but Break You's new video, or Break You's music video, is on there as of today. And you can also find us on Facebook at Rise The Pheonix, or RTP Band Official. We're on all the streaming platforms as far as like streaming music. Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, all of it. It's like 28 or 29 different streaming platforms that we're on. So we go through DistroKid, which is phenomenal. And allowing us to do that, to get that out there, and all the possible avenues that we can. So, but we're also on all the social media platforms. Some of them get a lot more attention than others, just because us being old crippled geriatrics have a little trouble with computers these days. No, but we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We got a TikTok page that we're going to start putting a lot more on. Awesome. Probably going to start doing some acoustic stuff on TikTok and letting people hear some acoustic versions of some things. Yeah, man. So we're going to branch out and start doing. Our goal for 2024 is grow way more than we did in 2023. We'll have a lot of time together. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say exposure for
2024.
Sure. Exposure is the word.
Yeah. Branching out, getting trying new venues, trying new places.
Yeah.
Writing more music, man. Hopefully start working on the second EP. We'll start working on that after we get to tour the first one for a little bit, but it'll be started soon after we release the first one. I mean, try to continue to bring everybody new music,
Yeah.
You can ask.
Yeah, we one of the things that we really have going for us, which is really cool, is that we all kind of come from different musical backgrounds, so we're influenced by different bands. So we all like the same stuff for the most part, but we all pull from different genres that we all grew up listening to. I was more of a classic rock. Guy. So, growing up, that's what I listened to more than anything. I didn't really get into hard rock music until my later teens and my early 20s. So that kind of helps us bring more of a nostalgia feel, because we do pull from the 90s and the 2000s as more of our influence, Yeah. And the other thing that we got going for us is that there's not one song that we have been able to produce that sounds anything alike. So we have a lot of variety there. We have a lot of different sound,
Well, our goal, what we talked about was to be able to stick our EP in the stick the disc or pull it up or whatever you do, stream our EP and listen to it from start to finish and get an enjoyable song all the way through that you can rock to and jam to and relate to.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's been the goal from the beginning, and all of us being like, yeah, absolutely, man.
We don't want to give you 7 or 8 songs that sound identical.
Yeah.
That's just,
a lot of bands do that.
There's been way too many of those albums come out.
Yeah. And
do we name anybody? No, we don't name anybody. We'll just leave it at that.
And I love that. Very
talented. This song. That was 2 tracks ago.
Yeah. Or the whole album sounds like one song.
One long ass song. Yeah. No, but but yeah, I mean, you know, back when CDs were more of a thing, which they still are to a degree, but when CDs were a thing, you know, I always remember picking up CDs and listening to certain tracks, you know, and these days, you know, it's cool because we have the streaming, you know, it's in our favor, but a lot of times it's not in our favor with compensation wise. But you know, it's in our favor that we can put these songs out, and you know, whether we do it one by one or you know drop them as singles or whatever the case is, at least people know what they're getting ahead of time, you know, and it gives them more of a reason to go and say, yes, I'm, you know, I heard this song and this song, I want to hear what the rest of them are going to sound like.
Definitely.
You know, there's very few albums that are out now that well, let me say that different. There's very few albums that came out in the past that I actually was able to listen all the way through. Yes. There's only certain tracks. Now musicians are coming up with this streaming thing with ways to keep people enticed to listen all the way through 42 minutes worth of music, you know, without taking a break or, you know, and then a lot of times they just, you know, come back. I can count on one hand how many albums I actually will sit down and listen to from old school that I actually listen to every single track and enjoy every single track. You know?
I still owe Columbia House a lot of money for back when I got 16 CDs for 16 songs.
Was it BMG?
Dude, I feel you on that. It took me forever to get out of that.
They make coffee now, don't they?
And then like they will send me movies I didn't even order. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
I didn't order that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then they charge you like $30. You're like, what the fuck?
I was 9 years old the first time I swindled Columbia House out of a stack of CDs.
It's hard to do that shit now.
Sneak to the mailbox every time the mail comes to pull the bill out, burn it. I didn't think these were free.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts. And
no, that's what we want to do. We want to, and we've been able to do it so far. We want to get on a higher tier. We want to get in more marketing areas and be able to introduce ourselves to everybody. You know, this corner of the country's had enough of Rise the Pheonix. Let's move on somewhere else. You know,
let's go torture some more people.
Yeah, let's go torture some more people. No, but you know, relatable. You know, nostalgia, and that's the coolest thing. That's probably the coolest compliment that I can ever get is that, man, your music reminds me of when rock was good.
yes.
You know what I mean? And that's and I've heard it countless times, and it's one of the coolest compliments that I think that I've ever heard when we're put into a category with bands like Seven Dust and bands like Killswitch Engage and Chevelle. And, you know, I know that Five Finger Death Punch isn't a big, you know, isn't a not everybody's a fan of that band, but we get a little bit of that too. And I'm okay with that, you know? So at least we're hitting on musical areas that people know. At least we're hitting on areas that keep them, you know, hungry to hear what we got coming out next, you know? So but that nostalgia thing, that's probably the coolest compliment I have ever heard that I continue to hear. So
yes, I love your guys' sound. Sometimes like even though how can I explain it? It reminds me, it gives me that nostalgia of like when rock was good. When you see those infomercials of like all the 90s rock, you forgot.
Oh yeah. It
gives me that nostalgia, but with a new twist, you know, a little bit of newer sound to it, you know, newer effects, like you guys were talking about the electronics and stuff.
Well, you got to keep up with what's going on, but you don't have to exactly do what everybody's doing.
Exactly.
And I feel like, I mean, as different as they are from all of the bands that I just named, I feel like we would fit in really well with Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, The Day I Lost My Mind has a feel to me like, what is that song? White Trash Millionaire. It has the same feel. I mean, and that's, if Blackstone Cherry, if anybody from Blackstone Cherry is out there listening, y'all need to check us out. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm a huge Blackstone Cherry fan. I would be down to do something with him.
Yeah, Brian's been talking about a Blackstone Cherry show since we got together.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like, he don't care if we can play, we can open up for David Gilmour, and he'd be like, it doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah, right.
He's manifesting it, guys. It's gonna happen. Watch.
Right. Absolutely.
Nah, it would be awesome, man. Those guys are great, dude.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's it. To be on those stages with some of those great musicians, man, is just killer.
Yeah.
I mean, all together, like we'll play for anybody. We'll play for 5 people or 50,000.
Absolutely, man.
We'll come to your church. We don't care.
Yeah,
We'll come to your church.
We'll be at the tent revival.
You got to pass the offer plates around, but we'll be there.
I love it, man.
And while I'm speaking on that, Jelly Roll, if you're listening, let's collaborate.
Oh, I love Jelly Roll, dude.
Absolutely, man.
I could totally see you guys collaborating with him. I could totally see that.
And we're not the only one. People's told us that since the beginning. Like, we would love to hear something like that, like a Jelly Roll type collaboration with us. And I mean, we'd be down to do that. 100%.
Absolutely.
I would
100% would love it.
Wow,
Make it happen.
All you guys' hard work is paying off. You guys are very talented. Everybody check them out. Rise the Pheonix. Check out their YouTube, socials, and new video, Break You. And yeah, man. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Don. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
McIntyre.
Dude, I had a brain fart, bro. I'm sorry, Don. Don McIntyre. Don, you are the best, and I'd love to thank you very much for connecting us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also want to give a shout out to
well, by the way, so she's awesome.
Yeah, she is. She's amazing. And
yeah.
We'd love to thank you very much for connecting us. Also, the Loud Spot. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Big shout out. And the Southern Flame with Massive Media. Big shout out to all you guys. And yeah, love it.
Well, good deal, man. Well, we appreciate you having us on, and anything else, man, we can do. If you want to get back in with us and we go down the road and another 4 or 5 months, we do another one to kind of check in and see where we're at, dude, we'd love to do it.
Yeah, I would love to have you guys back whenever you guys want to. You guys are always welcome back to the show.
Heck yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
Well, we appreciate you, bud. And yeah, everybody check out our Break You video on YouTube, and
Single.
Yeah, go check out the single on Spotify, any streaming platform. It's up there. And don't be afraid to hit us up, man. I mean, come to our Facebook page and shoot us a message. We love connecting with new fans, and the way that we look at it is, without you, we don't do this. We don't we haven't made it to where we want to go. And
hit us up from different states and let us know.
Absolutely.
If you want us to come there.
Anybody with connections, you want to put something together. We are going to be looking to go on a run at some point, after we release this EP. So, any type of opportunity that, you're willing to throw our way, we're more than willing to accept it, because we're very hungry. We got the fire under us, obviously, and it's we're looking to hopefully do some big things, man. And we hope and we pray that everybody has the success that they're looking to put the work in to do. And my biggest thing is you get out of it what you put into it. So if you want it, go get it.
That's it.
You guys got it, man.
We're tired of eating ramen.
Right. It's old. I've tasted all the flavors. They're bland to me now.
You can try to mix them up, make them better.
Right. Yeah, it's time to mix some chicken with some beef.
And yeah, Jelly Roll, if you're listening, get with
there you go. I knew I'd get him on board with somebody. No, Chewy, thanks so much for having us, man. We appreciate it.
You're awesome, brother, man. We dig the podcast, dude.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. And thank you guys again. Thank you, Don. And you guys have a good one.
You too, buddy. Hit me up anytime.
All right, peace.